Welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. I am your host, Lauren Hardy. And if today is your first time ever listening to this podcast, I want to welcome you. You are about to listen to the best podcast in the world. Today, we have an awesome episode with another fellow virtual investor. He's based out of Arizona. His name is Marcus Maloney. Marcus, welcome.
Hey, Lauren, thank you for having me. Thank you, Wholesale Inc. family, for having me.
I'm happy to have you. I just got to know you a little bit today because I was on your podcast. What is your podcast's name?
We Love Equity Real Estate Show.
Right. We Love Equity Real Estate Show. So
Yep, you got it.
It was fun. I enjoyed being on it. And I said, you know what? Wait a second. Why are you not on mine? Being that you're another virtual investor. So
that's right. And what did I say? I said, hey, Lauren, come on, let's do it. Let's just go ahead and rock and roll.
I know that's how we are. We just go with it. We roll, we're off the cuff, and that's what we're doing today. So super stoked to have you. So, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. First of all, where do you live?
I live in Phoenix, Arizona. So, well, not really Phoenix, but I'm in the Southeast Valley. So I'm in Queen Creek area of Arizona. So I'm about 40 minutes southeast of Phoenix. I wholesale here in Phoenix, but my main business now has transitioned virtually to the Chicago market. So we're in Chicago wholesaling quite a bit, and I have rental properties there, and we're looking at expanding and doing some more things in that Chicago market, and also in other markets in the Midwest, Indianapolis, St. Louis, things like that. Yep, Milwaukee.
I can't say I know anyone who wholesales in Chicago, so I am excited to meet you. I always get excited when I meet someone who's doing deals in areas that I've just never met anyone doing deals there before. So that's really cool. Tell me a little bit about the Chicago market.
So the Chicago market is very progressive. It's a little bit different from it's a lot different from the Phoenix market in the sense that it was behind as far as the downturn. So, with Phoenix, got hit really, really hard, really, really quick. Phoenix, California, Florida, Las Vegas got hit really quick, really hard. Well, with Chicago, that area got hit, but it was like a long progression. It wasn't all of a sudden. It was slow. So you could still pick up houses for $50,000, $40,000, some even $30,000, where on the next block, a fix and flipper was doing it and selling it for $200,000. So we really saw the spread difference there, and it was like, sure, let's do it. And actually, I got into it on accident.
Wow. Okay. How'd you get into it?
Well, I was doing deals here in Phoenix, and like I always do, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and things like that. And I was just posting some of the things that I was doing. And my wife's best friend reached out to me, and she was like, hey, you know what? My mom passed away like 3 or 4 years ago, and I have this property and I need to sell it now. So I was kind of in this situation where like, yeah, I could do it and make some money, but what if this thing goes south? And now my wife's best friend is really upset with me, and then that means my wife is upset with me, and then that spoils the relationship, So I was just really transparent. I told her, I said, hey, we work with investors. I can get this deal done for you. And I just found out what she wanted. And at the time, I was JVing with the realtor in Chicago, and I said, hey, look, this is what I have. This property, and the seller is very, very close to me. I want to get it done, so I need everything to go smoothly. And we ended up doing it. We got the property under contract for $100,000, and we turned around and sold it for $125,000.
Awesome.
Yep. So she was happy. We were happy. Everybody was happy.
That's great. And I always say, I tell all of like my students that JVing to start is the number one way to go. If you guys don't know what JV means, it means joint venture. So find a partner that you can joint venture with, not just when you're going virtual. Of course I say this when you're going virtual always at first, JV with someone, but even when you're just getting started, JVing is a really good way to, like, when you're getting started, just feeling more confident that you have this partner you're working, with. And so that way, like, they have the answers, they've got the buyers. You don't have to stress so much when you're trying to sell the property and make some money. So that's cool that that was what you were doing. How did you find that JV partner?
That was funny. I was doing some other things in Chicago, and I knew I kind of wanted to shift there because things in Phoenix were really starting to ramp up and the prices were starting to get crazy.
Mhm.
And I was putting some ads out on Facebook and on Craigslist. That's how you tell how long ago this was. And he reached out to me and he was like, hey, you know what? You got any deals? Let me know, and I can help you move them. And I said, perfect. He sent me over the JV agreement, and it's been history. I'm not JVing with him anymore, but we did, I would probably say, about a dozen deals, if not more, together. And I'm a strong advocate, just like you, Lauren, to JV and partner. That's actually how I got started. When I first moved from Chicago to Phoenix, I didn't know the landscape. I didn't know what was a good area, what was a bad area, or anything like that. But I knew I wanted to get back into real estate, and did some direct mail, sent it out, was trying it, and I got a call from a seller, got the property under contract at the ARV. This is how you know I didn't know what I was doing. Got the property under contract at the ARV, and I sent it out. I had a few buyers. I think I had like 8. And I sent it out. Everybody was like, dude, you don't know what you're doing. This is wrong, blah, 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 blah. And I was starting to feel real down about myself. And then one guy he hit me up and he was like, hey man, I see you're out there trying. There's a lot of people that talk about doing it, but you're out there doing it. You're not afraid to make the mistakes. Come on into my office. Let's sit down and let's talk. Started talking with him, and I became his acquisitions manager. I'm not sure if you guys know of Justin Colby. And Justin Colby, I was acquisition manager for him and Gabe Ostrowski, and we were doing deals, and I felt really, really comfortable on the phone. I could talk. I was closing deals over the phone. I was like, man, this is great. But I told them going in, I said, hey, I've always been a solopreneur, an entrepreneur. I can help you guys out. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to do whatever you guys want me to do, but eventually I'm going to go out on my own. So we got to that part where I went out on my own, and the rest has been history. Actually, Gabe now is partnering with me on deals in Chicago. So my once mentor is now a partner. So guys, JVN definitely works.
No, absolutely. I mean, you have to partner with people who know what they're doing. You just, when you try to learn it and be a hero and do it all your own, I mean, you are just going to either look like a fool,
Yep.
screw up, lose money. There's so many ways that it could go wrong. So I love that you did that. And I mean, yeah, I think that that's cool that you worked as an acquisition manager from like high volume people like that. I mean, what better experience, if you don't have any experience in this business, but you have that opportunity, why not, So
Yep.
yeah, that's really cool. So yeah. And so you went from Phoenix, which there's a ton of Phoenix investors. I mean, we know that Phoenix is just full of our industry. So you chose Chicago. It sounds like you were from Chicago.
Yep.
What are you doing now in Chicago? So you're wholesaling a little bit. Are you doing some buy and hold?
Yep. We have a portfolio that we're building. We have about 7 doors now, and we're actually aggressively buying more. I was just out there this past weekend, walked a couple of property, talked to a couple of sellers and things like that to see if we can get some properties under contract. So we're still very active in Chicago. What I want to tell people is that, if you're getting started and you don't know what to do, only thing you got to do is look at the breadcrumbs and the trails that's left from other people. Don't be afraid to get out there and make the mistake. I got to the point where pride became too expensive. I had to let my guard down and say, you know what, whatever I got to do to learn this business, let me get out here and do it. And that's exactly what I did.
I love that you are not only like wholesaling virtually, but you are building a rental portfolio virtually. And I tell people, like, virtual works with any disposition strategy. So
Yep.
I built homes virtually, I flipped homes virtually, did the wholesaling, and I've held rentals virtually. So, but let's talk more about rentals, because we don't talk about that as much. Like wholesaling, it virtually is like the thing that most people think, off the top of their head. But like holding a rental portfolio virtually is absolutely doable. What are reasons why somebody would go virtual holding a rental versus in their own backyard?
What happened was the price points here in Phoenix just became too expensive. The numbers just wasn't making sense. Anytime you purchase a property for $300,000 and your rent is, $15, $16, $1,700, it just wasn't making sense. Where I can go to Chicago to a market that I knew, and I could buy a property for $30,000, put maybe another 20 to 30 into it, but then rent it for 1,500. So I was looking at, I was looking at the money that could be made, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, why buy in Phoenix when I can buy in Chicago, less exposure, but more money? So that's what we started doing.
What? Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's like a 2% rent to price rule. That's
Yep. I actually, and this is just this quick story. I was watching this property. It was a duplex, and the guy had it for sale on the market for like $65,000. And I was just kind of watching it. Really wasn't thinking about pulling the trigger. I was just like, well, let me just see what happens with this property. Well, it came off the market, didn't sell. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna grab my yellow pad of paper. And I just sent him a quick message because I looked up the property up on the assessor's office, got the address, sent them a message. I said, hey, you know what? I noticed that your duplex didn't sell on an MLS. Did you pull it off, or are you still interested in selling? Give me a call immediately. Probably 3 days after I sent the letter, I got a call. And he was like, hey, you know what? I am interested in selling it. What would you be willing to offer? And I was like, you know what, I think $50,000, is a decent offer for the property. He was like, sure, let's do it. So got the property for 50. I put another 20 into it. The first floor is renting for 750, and the second floor is renting for 675. It worked out. So, and I started when I was doing the virtual building a portfolio, I was doing it all by myself. I was like, no management or anything at first, because we would go in and we would rehab the properties, and, we would make sure all of the mechanicals was sound, everything was sound. So it wasn't like we had to worry about any damage or anything like that. Lo and behold, I had one property and I got a call in the middle of the night, and it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, wow, this is my tenant. That's definitely not good news. So he gave me a call and he was like, man, the garage is on fire.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a detached garage. So he was like, the garage is on fire. What? I called the fire department and everything like that. What do you want me to do? I said, well, you called the fire department. There's nothing I can do now. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll give you a call in the morning. Gave them a call in the morning. They put the fire out. And I just called my insurance company and they cut me a check, and I had my contractors to go over there and redo the garage. It was really nothing else that I could do, and then from there, I was like, you know what? I need to really start putting a property management team in place. And that's when I started putting a property management team in place, because we started buying more properties, and I couldn't fly from Phoenix, to Chicago just to watch some properties.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, when you go virtual, like it is so tempting to like nickel and dime everything and like, like squeeze like the
Yep.
for as much juice as possible by trying to do it all. But like in the end, you are probably going to waste money doing it that way in mistakes. So maybe you thought you made a little bit more money here. You're going to probably screw something up on the other end,
Yep.
or have something bad happen. So it is important. Like when you're virtual, like you got to get help. You've got to get your boots on ground. You have to set yourself up as if you are there. You've got to have eyes in the sky. If it's not you, it needs to be somebody else that's there that you can call up. and say, hey, you know, that first of all, if it's a property manager, like the tenant should be calling the property manager for the money.
Right. Yep. Yep.
You have better things to be doing. No, I mean, still like really cool. Like, you know, you were living in Phoenix. It wasn't making sense to buy rentals there. You didn't let that stop you. You went back to your, it sounds like your hometown
Yep.
in,
Yep.
in
Absolutely.
Chicago, and made it happen there. And I
Yeah.
think that's great.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people is there's opportunities out there. You know, if it's not in your own backyard, you know, maybe you need to go 2 hours away, or you know, maybe 4 hours away. You can still find deals. You can't let roadblocks stop you from doing what you're trying to do. You know, and that's definitely what I tell people.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, a lot of times people go virtual out of necessity. And it's, you know, I mean, maybe like we're lucky that kind of like it was a necessity thing that took us there.
Yep.
But then look, like, I mean, you figured out like there's these returns that are bananas compared to where you're living.
Yeah.
Now you're like not even looking back. You're,
Yeah, I don't even look at rental property here in
yeah,
Phoenix, you know, because I'm like, well, what I can pay for a rental property here, I can buy 2 units or 4 units there and make more money there. Naturally, you don't get the appreciation that you would get here in Phoenix, but you know, we don't invest for appreciation. We invest, you know, for the long term. So it's like, hey, why not?
yeah, yeah, for the consistent cash flow.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what it's all about. And that's the wealth building that I tell people, you know, yeah, you may have to get started with wholesaling because you don't have any money to get started. But once you start closing those deals, you have to be prudent with your money. You have to put some aside and say, okay, this is for taxes. This is for my long-term wealth strategy, you know, because you can't always wholesale for the rest of your life. Well, some people can, but for the wealth building component, you definitely need to start owning some.
Absolutely. And I mean, yeah, that's one of the benefits of getting into this business. Wholesaling is a way that you can get in when you don't have money up front. You know, you know, it's like anybody can do it, right? You don't have to have a rich, you know, upbringing or rich
Yep.
that helped you get into it. I mean, wholesaling, I started with no money. I started with a credit card. You know, it was a way for me to get into this business, get into real estate investing with no money. But yeah, now I know how to find discounted off market deals. And now it's the other end of it is building that wealth through owning property. That's the end goal. Really, at the end of it is owning these deals, getting that consistent cash flow, and you're doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're the real deal. So I think that's amazing, and I definitely want to, you know, hear more about it when you start going into other territories.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it, Lauren, you said you got started with no money. I mean, the reason why I ended up in Phoenix is my wife, she had a job and I had a job lined up. Once I moved my family and everyone out here, my job got pulled away from me. So I was here with absolutely nothing. I had, if anybody know what a First Premier credit card is, that's like a predatory lending credit card. And I had a $200 limit. And my accounting practices was, okay, I get $85 worth of overdraft fees. So I added that into my accounting, like, okay, I don't have zero, I have $85 worth of overdraft fees that I can use on this credit card. And I just started with the direct mail, sending out those mail pieces. You know, I would send out 50 a week, 50 a week, 50 a week. And then, you know, one just popped and the rest was history. You know, so guys, if you're out there, you don't have any money, don't let that stop you. There's money out there. You can definitely find a way. If you don't have the money, you just have to use your effort. You know, you got to
Yeah.
use what you have.
Yep, you do. You got to use your effort then, and there's plenty of ways that people without money, even if you don't have money to market,
Yep.
can make this business work. I call it beating the bushes a little bit, but you absolutely can do it. It just takes a little bit more effort. So no, that's really cool. So let's shift gears now. So you now have a podcast. How can people get a hold of you? And if they want to, learn more about you, how can we do that?
Sure. I mean, the podcast is We Love Equity Real Estate Show. You can find me there. All of my social media handles are at MRCS Maloney. I have a YouTube channel where nothing but free content, everything from just starting, as a wholesaler all the way up to, doing multiple deals. You can find that information there. And my website, which is Marcus, E as in equity, Maloney.com. So you can definitely find me, just MRCS Maloney. And I am a contributor on Bigger Pockets, was just on their podcast, show number 386, 2 weeks ago. So you can find me. Just Google my name. I'm out there.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on today. I'm excited. I'm glad we got to meet. And
Absolutely.
I look forward to, hearing a little bit more about your journey. If you end up in other markets, keep us all posted.
I will. And thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you, Wholesaling Inc. family. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys. And always imparting, just remember to enjoy the journey.
Love it. All right. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.